One of my favorite things in the world to do is watch Friends. I know it's been off for years and years. It's not even around, but I still find myself binge watching old episodes. And I was thinking about this today and thinking, it's the predictability of the friends in the circle, right? You have Chandler with his quirkiness, Monica with her type A of just everything has to be so neat and tidy and organized. It's Phoebe's ability to make you laugh at her silly songs. Ross always comes in with those smart comments, and Joey and him and his food, like it is just so hilarious. And of course, Rachel, she just brings everybody together, and it's just such this beautiful, cohesive team of people. And it's why I wanted to come on and share with you today that I have an opportunity for you to find your friends in the content creation space. So if you are thinking about creating your first or your next digital course, I don't want you to miss this opportunity because Amy Porterfield just opened the doors for registration for her Course Confident Bootcamp. And I'm actually offering a special bonus for anyone that registers for the Course Confident Bootcamp through my special link. So I want you to go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register. That's crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And what you're going to find when you get there is I have this special bonus private podcast series. It's called Money Mindset for Creators. So I want you to go register for Amy's bootcamp, download the podcast, and immediately start listening to it, because what this training is set up to do is to help you get your mind right about monetizing your content, making money so that you can fuel your content creation dreams. So go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register for Course Confident. And I cannot wait for you to find your friends and find the people that will be there for you. Do you see what I did there? Yeah, nice little friends segue connection. Go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And I cannot wait to see you inside. Okay, let's get into today's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Rookie Life Podcast. I'm your host, Crystal Profit, and I want to say thank you so much for joining us today for episode 41. Y'all, I've been waiting a long time to introduce you to my dear friend, Charlene. Okay, so here's a little behind the scenes. We had scheduled our interview back in October of last year. And things didn't work out. I had a whole bunch of technical difficulties, and just long story short, we had to postpone our interview for a long time. But I have to admit, I'm really excited with how this interview turned out, because she's amazing, and she's going to show us how personal style meets a PhD. That's right. Like, she brings the two worlds of fashion and chemistry together to create one hot formula. You like that? You see what I did there? But I'm so excited to talk about this today, because personal style has just been such an eye-opening industry for me. And I can't wait to dig into the behind the scenes of everything that goes into her business and the thing that she is creating that she's so passionate about. But if you're brand new to the Rookie Life, welcome. Let me tell you about the other fun things we talk about here on the podcast. We focus on what it means to start something new, even when you have no idea where to begin, how to develop new skills in all areas of your life, and how to find that it factor that'll keep you motivated every single day. So join us as we dive headfirst into what it means to be a rookie. Come on, rookies, we all have to start somewhere. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. Do you see? Yeah, okay. So are you looking to start a podcast in 2019? But you're thinking, I don't know what I'd talk about. It's like, I have no idea even where to get started. Don't even let that thought overwhelm you, because guess what? I've done all the work for you. I've actually created a workbook that has 500 podcast ideas for any industry. That's right, 500. Actually, it's over 500. I think it's like 554 for any kind of podcast. I specifically created this tool for entrepreneurs who aren't sure if podcasting is right for them. They say, well, I have a blank, insert any kind of industry, business. Will a podcast work for me? My answer, 99.99999% of the time, is yes, a podcast will totally work for that kind of business. So let's say you're in personal finance or real estate or business or marketing or technology or beauty and fashion or pet services or life coaching or parenting or any other number of industries. I've got you covered. Let me show you some podcast ideas that I have for you to get started. You can go to crystalprofit.com/500 podcast ideas. That's Crystal with a K, Profit with 2 F's and 2 T's. crystalprofit.com/500 podcast ideas, and you can grab this free, 100% free download today. Hey rookies, and welcome back to episode 41. Before we get into today's interview, I wanted to let you know a couple of things. The first is that I wanted to remind you we always provide the show notes for each episode. So if you're interested in learning more about any of our guests, then head on over to crystalprofit.com/podcast. That's Crystal with a K, Profit with 2 F's and 2 T's, and check out the show notes for this week's episode. You'll also find social media links for our guests so you can continue to follow them in their journeys. The next thing I wanted to remind you is to be sure and subscribe to the show so you don't miss any future episodes. There are some really cool things coming up around the corner, and I can't wait to share them with you. And while you're at it, please rate and review the show on iTunes. We're going to be doing another giveaway soon, so I want to make sure that you're in on it. We're going to keep choosing random reviewers to receive some really cool Rookie Life merchandise. You can leave a rating between 1 and 5 stars, but here's what you have to do to be considered for the drawing. You have to leave a comment. And here are some of the things that you can tell people in your comments. You can tell us what you think of the show. You can tell me topics that you want to hear us talk about. Or just comment with which episode is your favorite. But you have to leave a comment to be considered for one of the drawings. I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to get some really cool stuff, because who knows what the prize will be next time. Okay, so now that we've gotten all the business side of things out of the way, let's talk about personal styling with Dr. Charlene. Okay, so I already mentioned before that I know Charlene personally. I've actually been able to hug her neck and just enjoy being in her presence because she just has such a big heart for helping women step into the personal style that just makes them feel amazing. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that just being in her presence, you feel more confident and like you can take on the world. But I wanted to give you a little bit more of her bio so you can understand just how amazing this woman is. So Dr. Charlene Lawson is a chemist, certified wardrobe stylist, a businesswoman, and a mom of 2. She was born and raised in Warrenton, Virginia, and earned her doctorate in chemistry from Howard University. Guys, she has a Ph.D. She is amazing. Okay, moving on. Charlene works in the oil and gas industry as an air scientist and is the founder of Style Chemistry Consulting. She's smart, and she has her own styling business. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. Her business helps driven, vibrant women discover their unique personal style and build dream wardrobes using simple style formulas that streamline their busy lives. Y'all, she makes our lives easier. She just has so many reasons for us to love her. Okay, I'll keep going. Charlene is passionate about helping women realize they never have to sacrifice style for success or authenticity for ambition. She works with women in person in Houston, Texas, and virtually across North America. In her spare time, she enjoys playing cards, bowling, and spending time with her family. And y'all, I'm telling you right now, you're going to fall in love with her because She's amazing, and our interview was it was so good. So let's jump right into it. Here's my interview with Dr. Charlene Lawson. Okay, Rookie Podcast listeners, I'm so excited to introduce to you today Miss Charlene Lawson. So welcome to the show.
Hi, so glad to be here.
So my first question, just right out of the gate, is do you want me to call you doctor? And do you ask your clients to call you doctor?
It's really your personal preference. People call me Dr. Charlene, or Charlene is perfectly fine. Whatever you feel most comfortable with.
Okay.
I won't be offended if you call me Charlene.
Right. Well, I think that's the perfect segue into, people know that you're coming on the show to talk about personal styling and all the things. And it's like, wait, doctor, what are you talking about? So give us your story and kind of let everybody know who you are, what it is that you do, and how you are where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So I am a Houston-based wardrobe stylist. I'm also a PhD chemist, and I'm a speaker, educator, and a mom of two. So that's the condensed version of who I am. So how did I go from PhD in chemistry to personal styling? So basically what happened was, I'm sure most of you all know that scientists are not known to be very fashionable. We're just not. But with me, I've always had a love affair with fashion since I was a little girl. I was voted best dressed in high school and well known around college for my style. And so I also excelled in math and science. So I took the traditional route, as most of us do. We're told to, go to college and get a degree and get a job. So that's basically what I did. I got my PhD in chemistry, and then I joined the oil and gas sector in Houston, Texas. And so after about 5 years, during that 5 years in corporate America, I met so many other women who were intelligent and smart and educated and accomplished, but they were struggling in the style department. And they would notice that I would come to work with my heels on and feminine attire every day. And so working around lots of men, they were kind of like, are you sure you should be wearing that kind of stuff to the office? Because we wear flats and pants. And I'm like, oh, well, this is my personal style, because for me, if I have on a killer dress or a killer suit and my heels, I'm ready to go. I can take over that board meeting and do what I need to do, And so I ended up helping a few of my colleagues to revamp their closets and to start dressing not only more feminine, but dressing according to who they are as women. So expressing your personal style, but still being polished and professional in the workplace. And I just saw their confidence shoot up and just their whole demeanor changed. And so what I learned from that was that when you are dressed and confident, it affects your confidence professionally and personally. And so that's when I realized that there was a need for this business, and I launched my company, Style Chemistry Consulting, and the rest is history.
That's so awesome. I love her story. So it's funny because Charlene and we actually met in person, which is, it's a lot to say because a lot of the people I usually have on the show, I haven't met in person. And, I got to hug her neck. We got to chat over brunch one day, and she told me her story. And I felt like my jaw was just on the floor the whole time you were talking. I was like, but you're, like you said, you're a doctor, you're so smart and you're so pretty. You're this package deal. And then she gave me some fashion tips, and I was forever grateful because y'all know I struggle in this area. And so it's so awesome to meet someone who is so confident and so outgoing and so smart. And you just have this energy about you to help other people have the same thing. It's not like this, oh, look at me, I'm this, badass businesswoman and I know how to dress. You're like, hey, let me help you do this too and feel better about yourself. So I just love that about you. I just had to tell you that real fast.
Well, absolutely. I'm all about women empowerment. you know? And for me, what I want women to realize is that style and success are not mutually exclusive, right? So you should never sacrifice your style for your success or your authenticity for your ambition, right? We can have it all.
Right.
So that's really my goal, is to help women to be dressed how they want to be addressed and to take over, you know?
That's awesome.
Women
So,
empowerment. Let's do it.
yes, woohoo! I know. I'm like, yeah. Are we at a conference right now? I've got my hands in the air. Like, yes, you're speaking my language. Okay, so going back to helping other people. So, is your ideal client, like, walk me through what that process looks like? Like, are you helping someone that has no idea what they're doing and they're starting from, Charlene, I wear sweatpants to work, or, I feel good in yoga pants. Like, walk me through what an ideal client looks like to you, or some of your previous clients that you've worked with. Like, how does that work for you?
Absolutely. So I will talk about my clients' pain points, because these are the reasons that they feel they need to have a personal stylist, right? So the first one is a client that wakes up every morning to a closet full of clothes and has nothing to wear.
Mm.
Can you relate to that?
No,
Most of us can.
I'm nodding, but I'm like, the whole like Marie Kondo thing is out right now. And I'm like, oh, I did that whenever that first came out. So I actually got rid of because that was my struggle for a long time. I would say, I don't have anything to wear. And my husband, oh, God bless him, he would just say, you have plenty of stuff. You have plenty of stuff. Like, you don't need to go buy more clothes. And so now I feel like I've got better, but I'm definitely very plain in my style. So I feel like I would need someone like you to help me, like, okay, like, this is how we can jazz it up a little bit, but apply it to what fits my personality. So is that something that you do as well?
Right, exactly. So, women that have that same issue that you have, typically it's for a couple of reasons. Either they don't know their personal style. So, for
Right.
example, if you ask me, Charlene, what's your style? I'll say, oh, well, I'm pretty classic. I'm clean, I'm polished, and I'm feminine, and I'm a little bit edgy. That's my personal style, and you'll see that through all the things that I wear, right? So, I have a clear view of who I am and my image. A lot of us don't have that. And so what we'll do is we'll see something cute on someone else and say, oh, and we'll go buy it, but it may not fit our body shape. It may not really go with our personality. You see where I'm going here?
Oh, yes.
So that type of woman, I help them to, number one, let's sit down and redefine and discover what your personal style is. And then let's go into your closet. Let's see what it looks like. Let's get it decluttered and reorganized. Let's take a look at your shopping habits. Are you shopping when things are on sale? Because a lot of times we'll go shopping when things are on sale, but we don't need those things. We don't really want them, and they'll sit in our closet with the tags on them, and we don't wear them.
Right.
Right. Right. So that's the first client that usually will come to me. The second one is she hates shopping. She doesn't want to be in the mall or anywhere near the mall, but she has things to do and an image to uphold. Okay, that's my second client. The third client that I have is someone that is super busy. So she wants to shop, she wants to look good, she just does not have the time. So they'll hire me. And then you have the fourth client who is just the socialite. So she's always networking. She's always at a brunch, a gala, an event, and she needs to have someone to make sure that she's looking her best for all of those different occasions. So those are usually my clients that come in for help. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. Like, I'm
Being a woman in business comes with its own unique set of challenges, but also so many opportunities. We get ahead by leaning in to what makes us different from business as usual. I'm Samantha Hartley, host of Profitable Joyful Consulting, inviting you to a special 6-episode series exploring the experience of being a woman in business. You want to hear from women consultants who've hit $1 million, who sell 6-figure engagements, or who've broken their own revenue ceilings? Yeah, those are my clients, and they'll be sharing too. Join me for 6 must-listen episodes that tackle key challenges for women consultants.
Follow Profitable Joyful Consulting on your favorite podcast app.
sitting here relating to the one that, buys everything on sale. And for me, like, I'm busy, and it's not that I don't have the time. It's just like, I think, I have 3 kids, and, I personally, I stay at home, I work from home, I don't get out a lot. And so whenever I do, it's kind of like, I'm okay. Like, I'm settling. I guess that's the best way to say it. Like, I'm just kind of comfortable with what I have, and I don't really like get out of my comfort zone when it comes to clothes and fashion. But I want to change that. And I want to, because it does, whenever I do have those power outfits and those killer, like the ones that just make me feel so good, like I'm unstoppable on those days. And so I want to fill my life with more of that kind of wardrobe.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, people, on a surface level, clothing is somewhat superficial, but then again, it's not, because our personal image, whether we like it or not, when someone first sees you, they have an impression of you within the first 5 seconds before you even say anything, right? And it's going to be based on what you're wearing. So not only is it important for us to have a personal image for our careers and our jobs and so forth, but also for ourselves. Like when you mentioned about, when I'm dressed, I'm confident, right? So you want to feel confident. And I think that starts with building your self-esteem and building a dream closet. That's where it starts.
For sure. So what advice would you give to someone, like, if they said, well, Charlene, like, I want to do this, but I don't know if I'm ready to hire a personal stylist or a personal shopper? Like, what advice would you give to them? Like, is there like some sort of assessment they would need to do of themselves or their closet? Like, what would your advice be?
Yep. I will give you a couple of quick tips to start to revamp your wardrobe and start living your best, most stylish life. Here are some tips for you, ladies. Okay. The first one is to get some inspiration. So Pinterest is a web-based tool that's free that I absolutely love. Do you have Pinterest?
Oh, yes. Love Pinterest.
So I would say start there. And what you want to do is just start looking at what different women are wearing and see what resonates with you. So you'll learn more, okay, what colors are you drawn to, what styles, what cuts, what celebrity icons, and what have you. So you'll have an idea of what your style aesthetic should be, right? And so then once you have that in place, I want you to go to your closet and say, based on my personality, based on my style aesthetic, does my closet match that? And then if it doesn't, it's time to start decluttering that closet
See,
and getting rid of some stuff.
right. And I think that that's where a lot of people are kind of hesitant, because they're like, well, this is stuff, like, I think it's probably like a separation anxiety. It's like, oh, it's getting me out of my comfort zone. And I'm very frugal. So I used to just buy what was on sale, or just kind of, again, going back to the settling. But I've noticed the articles of clothing that I buy, because I love them, I don't even look at the price tag until, like, I've tried it on and I'm checking out and I'm like, okay, is this at least within my budget? Then I see it and I'm like, okay, good, because I love it. And I wear those pieces until they fall apart. I love them so much. So that really helps me, I guess, kind of understand more about the psychological part of it too, because like you said, like, it's more at the surface level, this is what clothes are, but in a deeper sense, you can get so much confidence. And y'all, you have to follow, and we'll get to this later, but Charlene on Instagram, I see her and I'm just like, man, like, she is just freaking killing it today. And you look so confident, your shoulders are back, and you just look so full of life. And so how can someone else achieve that level of confidence, or that level of, like, I'm happy in my own skin?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it starts with internally, right? So it's all about really owning the woman that you are and knowing where you want to be and being authentic with yourself, right? So the first step is you gotta know what value you bring to the table. What are your skills? What are your traits? What's great about you? What's unique about you? And really owning it. And people respect authenticity more than anything, right? And so that's the first step for me, is just being real with myself. And then the second part is knowing what my personal style is. So when I have my suit on, when I have the right dress on, and I'm dressed to kill, my confidence is through the roof because I know that I look good. And that just helps with my confidence. So I would say being authentic, being real, transparent, and knowing your style and expressing yourself through what you wear. That's what it's all about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love that you're so bubbly and you're so excited to talk about fashion. Like I love it. So with that being said, what is what is your goal with your business? Are you looking to expand, like just help more women? Are you looking to be, like teach classes on this? Like what is your idea for, and remind me, it's style chemistry?
Yes, ma'am. Style
Yes.
chemistry consulting.
Yes.
So we have some exciting things coming up in 2019. So I have three parts to my business. The first one is personal styling, which includes closet detox, wardrobe revamp, and special occasion styling. The second part of my business is speaking. And so that's going into the corporate sector or working with nonprofits to speak about why your image is important, how to dress professionally in today's work culture. Speaking with young girls and nonprofits about the importance of our image and how we're dressed and the message that we're sending. The third part of my business is the educational side, so the chemistry side. And so I have what is called Style Labs, and those are going to be rolling out later this year. And that is holding a workshop for young ladies and women and teaching them how to make their own lip glosses and perfumes, and also getting into the importance of style and fashion. And so that helps them to, number one, be exposed to making your own products and not just being a consumer, to entrepreneurship, to science, and to style. And so those are the three facets of my business that encompass style chemistry consulting. So we're super excited for what's to come in 2019.
Well, I'm so excited, like, because everything you said just kind of intertwines every piece of your life, every piece of your personality. It's like, it's fashion, it's chemistry, it's all of it combined together. And I love everything that you do. I'm so excited for you. Like, I really do, because it's not every day that you meet someone who is, it's not like you said, you know what, I'm just done. I don't want to do this whole chemistry thing anymore. I'm going to totally chase down this other dream. You're like, I love this and I love this. How can I marry them together? And how can I make them work with your life and your lifestyle? So I totally compliment you on that. I think that that's a very brave thing to do as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like science, but I love fashion, right?
Right.
But and they sound very different. But when you think about it, with chemistry, we do a lot of reactions. So A plus B equals C. Well, in fashion, I have what's called styling formulas. So A plus B equals C, which is going to be your outfit, right? So I really just have merged my two backgrounds, and they actually work really well together. And also, I'll mention this. For the women that are listening, is that if you do feel unfulfilled in your current job, especially if you're in a technical field like I was in, I just encourage you just to find out what your passions are and track down your purpose and start to pursue that. And if you have to, you take baby steps, right? So you keep your day job and slowly ease into what your passion is. That's what I've been doing. And, you know, hopefully I will become full-time with the business, but I'm still easing my way out of corporate America. So
Right.
it's a process. So I still do science on the side as I build this business.
Well, it's really cool though, because you've found a way to bridge the gap with still helping women that are in corporate America. And I
Right.
think that that's awesome, especially with
Exactly.
the industry, like you said, that you've been in, of women that may struggle or they may not even pay attention. I would think that that might be, the case totally. I mean, I could be speaking, out of turn here, but I think back to, being in, I worked for a construction company for a long time, and, it was kind of the same thing. It's like you wear flats and you don't really jazz it up too much, but the women that did in the workplace, they always got noticed and they always did look a lot more confident. So I totally see where you can really bridge the gap between corporate and what you're doing. And I know everything is going to work out for you, Charlene. Like, I know it. I know it's going to happen. And I'm so excited for you. But I wanted to go back to working with your clients, because I know that you mentioned you're able to help people virtually. So how does that work? Like, if someone doesn't live in Houston, or they say, I don't have, I live in Dallas, but I would love for you to consult with me. How does that work for you?
Well, thanks to technology, we can do everything through online. And so what I have is an online platform, and you basically have a virtual closet. So what that includes is it will have a section for recommendations. So I can populate that with different garments for you to buy. Right? And then you also have a lookbook. So this is where I can say, okay, Crystal, you can wear this top with this pant, this belt, and these shoes. So I can literally dress you and give you guidance through this virtual platform. And what's really awesome about it is that, in addition to having new clothes to purchase through the platform, you can also upload what's in your current closet. So we can mix and match what you have with your new pieces and build outfits. So I don't have to be right there to help you get dressed for success. Pretty cool, right?
Cool. That's awesome. Like, that just like blows my mind. Like, technology is still, like, all the time, it's just blowing my mind. All the cool things that you can do. And not only that, but it's like, it kind of takes the intimacy about being in someone's closet. Like, I guess that kind of, is that something that you've seen? It's like, oh, because I know back in the day, whenever I had so much stuff and you would have said, okay, Crystal, let me come see your closet, I would have said, no, no way.
Yeah, there are some clients who are a bit particular about being in their personal space. And so we can easily hop on Zoom. That's what I use for my video consultations and meetings, and they can just basically show me your closet, virtually. Let me just see how you have things organized. Show me some of your favorite pieces, and do it that way. So it's definitely an option if you are, a little bit nervous about having someone in your personal space.
Yeah, I think my hesitation was just, I was a hoarder previously. I'm like, I just had way too much stuff, and I would have been like, no, don't look. But I'm glad I cleaned it out, and it's better. It's better.
I am too. I recommend, while we're talking about decluttering and detoxing our closets, I recommend, ladies, that you try to do that at least twice a year. So like fall, winter, and then spring, summer. So we're getting ready to warm up here in Houston a bit. So, start putting away the sweaters and the heavy coats and the boots and things. Put those somewhere separate and just focus on what you're going to be wearing for spring and summer, and then bring those back out as we cool down towards the fall. So detox twice a year.
Well,
you'll thank me later.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm listen to what she's saying, because I'm telling you, it can change your life, and you can actually see what you have, and you can wear the stuff that you have and the stuff that makes you feel good. If you have the stuff that just like, oh, I know that I'm going to feel like a rock star when I wear this top, wear it more often. It doesn't have to be something that, you wear once a year, but
right. And you can see what you have. You can also see what you don't have. So a lot of times, because our closets are cluttered, we don't know what pieces that we're missing that are probably some wardrobe essentials. So if your closet is clean and organized, you can see where your gaps are. And when you go out shopping, you focus on purchasing and building those gaps so you can have a cohesive, functional closet.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Charlene, I'm so happy that we got to chat today. Like, this is just, I can't wait to see you again in person. I'm so lucky. Sorry, guys. You can't meet Charlene in person probably, but I'm going to meet up with her again, and she's going to have to help me, because like I said, even the last time we saw each other at this brunch, she was like, you know what would really just make that outfit killer? If you would just tuck it in, just right there in the front. And I was
oh, yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
Thank you. But it's funny because you said that, and ever since then, I've been like, I wonder if I should tuck this shirt in. And I kind of tried out. I'm like, oh, it does look so much better. So it's just like, it's little things like that. Like you have a heart to help people, just feel really good about themselves. So I just so much appreciate that about you.
Oh, well, thank you. You're so sweet.
Well, I wanted to move into our next segment, which is what we call our Keeping It Real questions.
Okay.
And the first one I have, we ask all of our guests this, and it's, what motivates you on days when everything is just super tough, like you're running late, you've spilled your coffee all over you, and you're just, it's just a tough day. Like, what motivates you to keep going?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mentioned earlier that I'm a mom, and I have 2 young men that I absolutely adore, and they are really the wind beneath my wings and my motivation for all that I do. And so even when I'm having a rough day and things are just out of control, I say, okay, I have to keep it together because I have 2 young men who depend on me and look up to me. And so they are my motivation without a doubt.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You little babies. Oh, I love it. Yeah. So my next question is, do you consider yourself a perfectionist?
Ooh. Yes and no. I think that I have really high expectations for myself, but not for others all the time. And I guess it just kind of depends on what's going on. So I guess if I'm keeping it real, okay, I'll backtrack. Yes, I am a perfectionist.
She's a perfectionist and answering her question about being a perfectionist. Oh.
Yeah, I just, I know that no one's perfect, and I definitely have a lot of flaws, but I do also believe that we should be trying to operate in excellence when we can. So that's what I try to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that there's something to be said about all that you have achieved in your life, and that characteristic of your personality being very integral to all the things that you have done. So I see that. That's really funny though. I'm a perfectionist in answering the perfectionist question. So. Okay. So my last question for you is, if you could go back and tell your younger self one piece of advice, what would you say to her?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I would say to her to step out on faith and to do what you really, really love because, I was in college for 10 years, you guys. I became a doctor, and in my heart, I knew that really wasn't what I was called to do. And so I feel like now sometimes that I wasted a lot of time. And so I would tell myself to, hey, you love fashion, move to New York,
Right.
pursue your dreams, pursue your passion, and just step out on faith. And even though I took a different path to get to where I am, I'm still grateful, and I really don't have any regrets.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and it's always hard, when people ask that question, because it's like, I wouldn't change anything because then I wouldn't be where I am today,
Right.
So that's always an interesting answer that I get from people. But Charlene, thank you so much today. So tell everybody, first of all, where we can find you on Instagram, because everyone has to follow all of your pictures because they're amazing and I love looking at them. But tell us all the places where we can find everything about you.
Absolutely. So please follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at Style Chemistry Consulting. And you can also check out my website, which is www.stylechemistryconsulting.com, and learn more about my services or to book a complimentary, free consultation where you can talk about your style challenges and how I can help you to start living your best, most stylish life yet.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize, I don't think I'm following you on Pinterest. So I'm like, ooh, that's somewhere where I can just go see what kind of wardrobe she has and all those suggestions that she has. Cause I love Pinterest. I love Instagram and Facebook, but I love Pinterest too. So
Yeah, follow me. I have some awesome boards that you will love that you can use for style inspiration. So, for example, I have like spring trends, what's going to be trending in 2019, the best boots and booties to buy, jackets, coats, dresses that you can wear for success, how to wear colors and prints, all that jazz is all on my Pinterest. So.
Oh, and I love, okay, you shared this the other day, and I want you to tell everybody what the big things were for 2019, because you said neon, and I was like, yes, like the 90s girl in me, it was like, yes, I want to hear more about neon. So tell us what the big thing is for 2019.
Right. So, fashion usually goes in cycles, right? So things always come back in style. So what's going to be popping in 2019, you'll start seeing it popping up on the runways, and also when you're out and about is, as Crystal mentioned, neon. So you're going to start seeing the highlighter yellow dresses and shoes and accessories, which I absolutely love.
Yes.
The hot pinks and the beautiful oranges. What else? Gold. So gold bags, gold shoes, gold accessories. The gold is popping. Also plaid. I love like a good pair of plaid slacks. So I'm here for it. What else? I'm sure you've already seen this now. Sequins.
Ooh.
Sequins are all the rave these days, and you can wear sequins up or down. They can be great for special occasions, but also with a pair of jeans.
Okay.
And so we have that, sequins, plaid, and pleats.
And pleats.
Pleats are coming
They're
back.
back.
So I love a good pleated skirt.
Right. I was just thinking, I'm like, it's like, I just pictured, what was that movie from back in the day? Oh, I can't even think of it. Cruel Intentions. And I know, like, I'm picturing like Reese Witherspoon. I don't think that's far enough back, but I'm like imagining all the pleated stuff that they always used to wear. So yeah, everything's coming full circle.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I know that we're going to have more of them, because it was just so good to pick your brain about all things fashion. So thank you for coming on the show today.
Absolutely. I've had so much fun, and thank you for inviting me. And I look forward to talking to you again very, very soon.
See, what did I tell you? You were going to fall in love with her. She's so amazing and just has such good insight into how we can be more confident and just feel good about ourselves just from the clothes that we wear. And I really encourage you to go check her out, because her Instagram is amazing. And she just gives me so much inspiration to be bold in my own wardrobe choices and kind of step out of my comfort zone and try some new things. I'm really excited I need to go shopping again anyway, but I've messaged her before. I've sent her a DM and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And she's helped me out right on the spot. So I know that she just has a giving heart and would love to chat with you if you feel like she could be the person to help you with your personal style. But that does it for episode 41. So remember to go check out Charlene and all of her links, subscribe to the show, and leave a review. So stay tuned for next week's show. And remember, keep it up, rookies. We all have to start somewhere. Hey, Profit Podcast listeners. Thanks for sticking around to a little bit after the episode to hear this special message, because I want to hear from you. We are starting a new segment called Fan Mail Shoutouts, and I want to hear from you, and I want to hear your questions. What do you want to know? What questions have you been dying to ask me? So here's how to make this happen. Go to the app where you're listening to this podcast right now. Go there. I'll wait a second. Okay. Now, once you're there, you're going to see a hyperlink at the top of the episode description that says, send Crystal a text message. And that's all I want you to do. Send me a text. It could be casual, informal. It could be totally anonymous, or If you want, you can include your name and the name of your podcast or content wherever you are creating, and I will give you a special shout out in an upcoming episode. So again, go to the show notes for where you're listening to this episode right now, and it will say, send Crystal a text message. And I cannot wait to hear from you and give you a shout out in an upcoming segment of Fan Mail Shoutouts.